Thanks, Akal and Preeti. And in Finance World, we're going to begin with the top lines that we're following at this hour. Government will set up a committee to suggest ways to deal with complaints of consumers who trade on e-commerce platforms, says Consumer Affairs Minister Ramvilas Paswan. Decision taken in the wake of several complaints from online buyers related to delay or non-delivery of products and substandard goods. Government agencies have procured 50,000 tons of pulses so far in the new fiscal year and contracted 25,000 tons for import, the Food Ministry has said. To encourage production of pulses, the government has increased the minimum support price for tur, urad and moong. The Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam invested 1,311 kg gold bars in Punjab National Bank under the gold monetization scheme. The deposits was made under the 3-year short-term gold monetization scheme. Foreign tourist arrivals during March 2016 were 8.17 lakh compared to 7.29 lakh in March 2015. That is a 12.1% growth in foreign tourist arrivals in March. And oil prices rose more than 3% on Tuesday after a strike by workers in Kuwait nearly halved the OPEC members' crude production, overshadowing bearish sentiment after Sunday's failure by producers to agree to freeze output levels. Let's get to some other stories now. Well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, who had last week participated in the spring meeting of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund in Washington, addressed analysts, economic experts and business executives as a session organized by CII and the Asia Society Policy Institute. He said global economic situation is grim and worrisome, prompting nations to put up firewalls. Now, India of 2016 is going to be significantly different from India of early 1990s as we have become a large economy and we positively interact with other nations. Global factors have impacted India in terms of exports in particular. Low commodity prices have hurt some, helped some, as have low oil prices. He also said the developing economies being protectionist is much less worrisome than the developed countries being protectionist. And a sharp decline in gold imports helped narrow India's trade deficit to a record low as merchandise imports contracted faster than exports in March amid tepid global demand. While merchandise exports contracted for the 16th straight month by 5.47%, merchandise imports shrank 21.56%, leading to a trade deficit of $5 billion in March. Let's get an update on the markets. Now, remember, the Indian markets were closed yesterday, but we'll tell you how the Asian market is performing in morning trade today. As you can see, all the Asian markets up in trade. The Nikkei Straits Times as well as the Hang Seng up in early morning trade. The Hang Seng a whopping 274 points. Telling you how the US markets closed yesterday, they also managed to close in the green. That's the Dow and the S&P, although the Nasdaq was marginally down by 20 points in yesterday's trade. So all in all, global cues seem to be positive. Looking at the European markets as well, that's what we saw where European markets were concerned. The FTSE 100 as well as the DAX, both up in trade. The DAX jumping 229 points in yesterday's trade. So that's all we have for you in Finance World for today. But for the rest of the news, it's back to Sakal and Preeti.